Well, on another episode of Pokeoz, the investing market continues to be stupid. What a place we've got ourselves into, hey? This is really a follow-on from last video. You don't need to watch that last video, but if you have, that would be great. It'd probably make a touch more sense. But it is really a standalone video. And like the thumbnail says, I'm a little bit scared at the moment. And look, there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in there, and it's certainly not clickbait, but I want to unpack that statement for you. The state of the market and where we're sitting in terms of Pokemon card investing at the moment. If you're new to the channel, thank you heaps for tuning into your first video. If you've been supporting the channel for a while and try and watch every video, I really, really appreciate your support. It means a lot. I see a lot of common commentators down below putting comments, of course, on videos and thanking me for the content. No, thank you. You don't need to thank me. I really, really appreciate the support. If you can't see them, there's a couple of new Elite Trainer boxes up the end with black bolt and white flare. They might be in the frame just. Awesome set. And another thing for me, hey, it's in its infancy at the moment, but there's more there. There's more on the next page, but gonna get a complete base set holo. Gonna frame it just for a bit of nostalgia. I don't know, it might find its way somewhere on the display, so I'll have all, however many there are, base set holos framed there, just not shadowless, not first edition, just unlimited edition. That'll be a cool addition to the collection for me. Anyway, let's just dive straight into it. What I mean by the video, the title about being scared of it, there's this old Warren Buffett saying, and it rings true now, which is, to be greedy when other people are fearful and to be fearful when other people are greedy. And if we look at that in the Pokemon card world, I guess from my point of view, being in and out of this hobby for so long, if you don't know my journey in it, of course, it started in base set. I was buying, selling, ripping cases, etc., gold stars during the EX era, re-entered back into XY for a little bit, of course, when Pokemon Go came out. And of course, re-entered, towards this tail end of Sun and Moon and have been investing ever since. So I've been in and around this hobby for a long time, and I don't think I've ever seen such aggressive price increases on everything. And to the point where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I get supply demand, I completely get it. But it just baffles me how, PSA 10 Umbreon VMAX with or Lugia, some Silver Tempest with, or Charizard from 151 PSA 10 with 20,000 copies. They're just going for the prices that they go for. I get it. The demand for them is absolutely insane and there's more than 20,000 people that want them. I get it, but just, that's a lot of PSA 10 copies. It's just uncharted territory that we've never even come close to seeing before, let alone the standard that it's at. It's insane. And then from a sealed side of it, how bonkers is everything at the moment? Even if we go back to the height of COVID, and it sort of started off with Vivid Voltage because we had lackluster base set from Sword and Shield, we had lackluster Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze was okay, there's a Charizard inside there, but it's it's not worth heaps, and it's actually not that difficult to pull, and then Vivid Voltage came along with amazing rares and a Rainbow Pikachu, and that was worth lots as a PSA 10, and that sort of started this trend, and COVID, of course, came along at the same time, and coupled with sets like Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars and Celebrations, which are all relatively difficult to get, but nowhere near as difficult it is to get sets at the moment. It's just gone to a place that personally, I've never seen before, all throughout the hobby, whether it's Sun and Moon, X and Y, Black and White, even back to EX era, Wizards of the Coast, everything was sitting on shelves and so accessible. I'm talking 2008 for argument's sake, a couple years after launch, EX Deoxys booster packs were just sitting on shelves for $4.99 Australian, $5.99 Australian, still in Kmart, still in supermarkets even places like Coles Supermarket were selling booster packs of things like EX Holland Phantoms, EX Deoxys for $5.99 2 years after they launched. Because it was just in a lull. And now we've got the complete opposite. And that rings true to that statement. Be greedy when other people are fearful and be fearful when other people are greedy. If you'd been greedy and bought, when no one was interested in Pokemon and no one wanted EX packs back then. It's not that no one wanted them. People wanted them. It's just the demand for them wasn't that high because it wasn't that popular at the time. Imagine if you'd been greedy then, bought up all the booster boxes, bought up all the packs. Imagine the money you'd be sitting on right now. Of course, hindsight, or 2020 is, hindsight's a beautiful thing. We didn't know that. Point still remains though, at the moment, I've never seen it so accelerated. And everyone's sitting back thinking they're absolute, Pokemon investing champions, aren't they? Because they go, well, wow, I've been here for 2 years and my sealed collection in the collector app, sponsor of the video, of course, is up 200%. I'm an absolute jet. I'm absolutely killing this thing. Like, you can't stop me. What a fantastic way to make extremely quick money. Well, that's not always been the case. And will it continue to be? I don't know. But this is where the fearful part comes in. This is the part where I say I'm a bit scared because I don't know about you guys and girls watching, 3% of girls that are watching. Give me a comment below if you are one of them. Let me know you're one of the 3%. Because, heck, there's a lot of dudes watching me. 97% of you. Anyway, moving along. Now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so we're in this place that I've never seen before, and I don't know if any of you guys and girls at home are thinking this, but this has been my thought train across the last probably 3 to 4 months, if not 6 months when it comes to sealed product, is that it's just getting increasingly harder to get. And it's so hard to get at a reasonable price that you're left having to purchase off essentially scalpers that are flipping the product. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to pay 400 Australian dollars or 280/290 US dollars for a Destined Rivals booster box that's been out for 3 months. 2 months, however long it's been out. It hasn't been out very long. Doesn't change the point. The point is, that's so damn expensive for a set that just came out. And look, that may beg another question. Has Pokemon been undervalued for quite some time? We're talking about distribution, maybe upping the price of the product. Will the Pokemon Company International moving into the new Mega Evolution set, will they up the price coming into a new generation like they did during Scarlet and Violet? Will there be a new floor to booster boxes? And the answer is, look, probably is. I don't think we're ever going to go back to super cheap booster boxes. I will talk about how we can in a second. But the point remains, the prices are just so damn high. And like I was saying, I don't know about you guys and girls sitting at home, but paying those exorbitant prices as an investor sort of makes you push back a little bit. You hold back from spending all that money. And the reason you do that is because you go, well, that's the easiest percentage gain. The easiest percentage gain is when a booster box goes from 150 US to 300 US. And if you're already buying in at 300 US, you feel like you've missed the easy double. And you're left going, well, the only way for it to double now is if it goes from 300 US dollars to 600 US dollars. And that's a harder double because it's easier to go from 150 to 300. Generally, as soon as the set is about to go out of rotation, it looks like it's never going to be printed again. It goes like that from 150 to 300. That's been the general rule of thumb for the last 4 years. Fusion Strike, about to go out of rotation, been sitting at 150 forever. Bang, what do you know? Jumps up to 300 really quickly. Lost Origin, even with its big reprints, sitting at 150. As soon as it's about to go out of rotation, bang, straight up to 300 US dollars. Now it's like they're getting launched at $300. So the only way for us to go and double our money, essentially, which everyone wants to do quickly, which hasn't always been the case. And look, our expectations are super high on Pokemon investing at the moment. But you've got to go from 300 to 600 to double your money, essentially, don't you? And that's where people step back and they go, that's a pretty hard pill to swallow. I don't know if I want to buy a case of booster boxes for that much money because then I'm stuck having to double it. It might take 3 years to double it, and that's hard because I want quick money. That's the thought process behind it. And with so many people holding back, this is where I think it's going to be difficult for Pokemon to slow down. Because if there's so many people sitting on the sideline holding back with money that they would otherwise spend, they're just keeping that. Unless they're investing that in something else at the moment, they're keeping that ready to pounce. So here's where the point comes in. If the Pokemon card industry is so big at the moment and so it's been on such an accelerated trajectory, one that we've never seen before, a a lot of people are sort of hoping it comes back down to earth a little bit. They're almost hoping, and me included, that bubble pops a little bit so sealed product becomes a little bit cheaper. Now that might sound a little bit counterintuitive because the whole idea of investing is you want it to go up. But what it means is it's really hard to get our hands on product, isn't it? Especially at a reasonable price. So we're almost hoping that this bubble bursts a little bit so then we can rebuy product. And then it's like, well, when exactly or how exactly is that going to happen? And even if it does happen with the when and the how, there's so many people sitting on the sideline ready to buy a cheaper product, you feel like it just can't happen because there's too much demand for it. There's too much demand sitting on the sideline, ready to throw a heap of cash at something as soon as it drops in price. And what's going to happen as soon as a heap of cash gets thrown at it? Of course, it's going to put massive upward pressure straight back up on the price, and we're going to see rises straight back up. Like, it almost feels like it's impossible at the moment. And look, it probably will happen. When exactly? I don't know. How exactly? I mean, all they can do is print the absolute bejesus out of it, and it'll just flood the market. If there's no longer people that can flip it for a quick profit, they're going to exit the market as quick as they came into it. And then we're going to have product again. And that's when pricing is going to drop because you know what? Stores still need to move it. It's all about turnover for stores, isn't it? You've got to move product. You're better off moving a booster box for $20 or $30 profit than waiting for 6 months to make $50 out of it. It's all about turn and burn. It's all about moving product essentially. So that's the only way we're going to see prices drop on sealed product is if it gets overprinted. There can't be quick money out of it. Those people exit the hobby. But then, like I was saying, even if that does happen, there's all these people on the sideline, it feels, ready to pump heaps of money. And I'm actually in that boat as well. Like, I want to go ahead and buy a bunch of destined rivals. But is it too dear? And it's a bit of a conundrum, really, isn't it? And that's why I've said, look, I know it's a bit of a catch grab, that headline, like I'm scared. I don't think scared is the right answer. I'm amazed at how insane the Pokemon card market is at the moment. Crazy, isn't it? Like, we're just in this crazy, crazy, crazy spot. And it doesn't feel like it's slowing down anytime soon. Hey, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. Such an awesome app. There'll be a link in the description to download it. If you scroll down the bottom, you can follow my journey from PokeOdds down in the content creators section. The big one now though is if you jump into sets in the Collector app, not only can you filter from top hit down to bottom hit and see the most expensive cards inside a set, you've got set analytics inside there. And set analytics will show you everything. Total set value, it shows you the hot cards, how the market is moving. The total set value as well as those hot cards is really important for both a single and a sealed collector when it comes to Pokemon card collecting and investing. They're really important metrics to put into place. So again, link in the description. You can become a pro member for that app as well, which unlocks a heap of really, really nice benefits. Well, I think that just about rounds out this video. So to summarize this whole thing, it's really hard to be greedy at the moment because you feel like everyone else is being greedy. And that old saying, when everyone else is being greedy, you should be a touch fearful. The time to be greedy was actually 12 months ago when all Scarlet and Violet booster boxes were like 160 Australian dollars, which was like 100 to 110 US. That was the time to be greedy. Twilight, Paradox, Temporal, Paldea, Base, Obsidian were all that price. And you know what? A lot of us missed it because it didn't seem that popular. It's funny, we're just like sheep, aren't we? It's funny we get this accelerated growth on products and more people jump in because they feel like they're missing out, and all that does is put massive upward pressure on the price and we get to the situation that we're at. But yeah, to summarize the whole video, that is the crux of it. Be greedy when other people are fearful, and be fearful when other people are greedy. And I think there's just so much money moving into the Pokemon card market at the moment. I still think, from my perspective, based on the possibility of big reprints for Scarlet and Violet, I still think the play is to pick up those ladder Sword and Shield sets, Crown Zenith Elite Trainer boxes, Lost Origin booster boxes, Astral Radiance booster boxes, Silver Tempest booster boxes, early Scarlet and Violet. Okay, Base is a good pickup. Paldea Evolved is a fantastic pickup. Moving into sets like Obsidian Flames doesn't quite have the chase cards inside it, but keep in mind all the way up to Paldea and Fates is going to move out of rotation towards March, April next year. So there we go, there's my advice. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I'm Michael /PokeOdds. Catch everyone next time.